This is Austin Liddy Limits, where authors talk to authors about books and the craft of storytelling. Sponsored by Blue Ink Review, because typing the end is just the beginning. Find out more at blueinkreview.com. This is the story told from the perspective of a book longing to find a good home. It is bought, sold, and gifted to several readers and learns about love and heartbreak, loneliness and friendship, ultimately becoming the author of its own journey. In the end, it examines the pull between the story we are born with and the one we long to write for ourselves. Entitled, a reading by author Cookie Boyle.
This is a reading from chapter 1 of my novel entitled, and to set the stage, we are in a bookstore in San Francisco. I'm entitled The Serendipity of Snow, the only copy of my author's only novel, which means I sit here alone without any family to talk to and just the width of my spine to capture a reader's attention. I've been here all summer and have had zero success. Had I been about the serendipity of sunshine, I might have a home by now. But no, my author had to set me in Minnesota in the dead of winter. Life isn't fair, even for novels. The lights in the store turn off, then on again. It's the end of another day. Older titles have nodded off the shelf, falling to the floor. The staffers spend their last hour tripping over these exhausted books, brushing them off and putting them back on the shelf to await their fate another day. These aging books, with their marks and creases and broken spines, are also the first to be returned to their publisher. Like I said, life isn't fair. Most books have 120 days to attract a reader, or else were sent back to be redistributed, or worse, recycled and pulped. There's a reason we give paper cuts. The classics operate in a different world. My Pride and Prejudice friend of mine displays her gilt edges, knowing she's safe. The Hemingways and the Fitzgeralds are protected by their lineage. They've inherited their relevance, so can sit for a year with no one questioning their value. It's different for the rest of us. I'm here with no family name or marketing campaign to help me. I've got to make it on my own, like Agnes in my story. Psst, my shelfmate whispers. I hear something. I open my fibers, straining to take in sound, but get nothing. Here they come, he says. It's after hours, which is usually the time for books to relax, but not this night. Instead, it's the evening we all dread. It starts with the squeak. The sound of the cart's wheels, like an ambulance sirens piercing the tranquility of our rows, causes us all to shrink in fear. They have a list and we pray our names aren't on it. Except the Buddhism books. They accept it as part of their journey or something. My friend Diane's dream starts to sob. Dee Dee, you don't know they're coming for you. They're probably just rearranging the bestsellers. Do you think? She says through her sniffles. No, I don't. There hasn't been a shipment back to the publisher for a month. So tonight could get ugly. Moby, what do you think? Call me Ishmael, Moby Dick responds. Okay, Ishmael, what do you think? I ask again. There's a tidal wave coming and none of us are prepared, he says. Sorry, I asked. The squeak approaches, slowly, determinedly, ominously. I half expect Miles, the staffer, pushing the cart, to cry, Bring out your dead. Instead, he shouts to his colleague Jerome, Let's be quick. I want to get out of here by 10. Hear that, Dee Dee? I say to Diane's dream. They're going to be fast. Nothing to worry about. I lie. Clearly, there's a reason I'm classified as fiction. I edge my spine out slightly to improve my hearing. I'm not worried about my situation. Yet Dee Dee, on the other hand, has quite a bit of dust on her. But I wouldn't say that to her cover. The cry of the cart's wheels lurches between fiction and nonfiction, imagination and reality. They're passing self-help and reference, yells the display of bestsellers. Now they're in local interest. I'm not going to leave my heart tonight, Tony Bennett's biography sings out. He's stacked next to the history of the Golden Gate Bridge and a photo essay of San Francisco's cable cars. He's safe. Tourists love a souvenir book, even if it's one they'll never read. The squeaking stops. They're in gardening, screams the title from the cooking section. With a series of cries blended with goodbyes, books on bulbs and spring planting are removed. One thud is followed by another as the hard covers are dropped onto the cart. They've got 20 titles, maybe more, shouts the cookbook. It's the end of August, so this purge isn't a surprise for these books, but still, it's awful. Don't worry about us, Spring Planting says. There's a season for everything, and this is our season to go. I don't know the gardening books personally. They're too many aisles away, so we've never met. But they've always answered our questions in a nurturing and patient way. I'm sad to think there will be fewer of them. The cart moves again. Its cadence casts a hush over us all. I'd make more money working in a restaurant. Think of the tips, Jerome says, as the squeaking grows louder. Yeah, but here we get to take home any book we want, Miles says. The cart is turning this way. Who buys books anymore? I download what I want to read, Jerome blasphemes. Downloading, a plague on you, Romeo and Juliet shrieks. Not that any human can hear. Ow, Jerome yells, thanks to a precisely timed plunge off the shelf by the History of Diving in hardcover. From the same sports section, Gymnastics for Beginners picks up the commentary. It was a perfect dismount, and he really stuck the landing on the sandal-wearing Jerome. Degree of difficulty 3.6. Books that are face out flop their covers in applause. The relentless squeaking continues in our direction. Miles and the now limping Jerome stand in front of the summer reading section. Oh no, they're totally after us, Beach Love shouts. High-pitched screams mark the end of holiday romances and sand-filled frolics as titles with yellow and azure covers are piled on the literary hearse. That's everything on the list, Miles says. Let's take these books to storage and we can get out of here. Leave the cleaning for the morning shift. You never dusted us, Beach Love says from her place on the cart. You never gave us a chance. The squeak fades. Bye, everyone, calls summer patio flowers. May you all fully bloom. The rest of us sit quietly, grateful for our relative good fortune when a title breaks the silence. It was the best of days, it was the worst of days. It was the morning of hope and the evening of despair, says A Tale of Two Cities. And with those words of Mr. Dickens lingering in the air, I close my fibers to rest and contemplate another night of the long sighs. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Austin Liddy Limits, made possible with help from our good friends at Blue Ink Review, where typing "the end" is just the beginning. Find out more at blueinkreview.com.